2022 meeting of Henderson County Fiscal Court. We are certainly glad you're with us today. We have a busy schedule of items to go over, so we will try to move through it as efficiently as possible. We'll begin, as we always do, with an invocation, and Reverend Charles Johnson, who is Executive Director of the Human Rights Commission and also pastor at Greater Norris Chapel Baptist Church, is going to lead us in prayer. Charles?
Let us pray. Father, we thank you for this day, for this gathering, as we continue to be good stewards of our time and our resources and decisions that need to be made for the county and the city. We ask that you overlook and guard and govern those decisions. Bless our brothers and sisters in Ukraine as well as in Russia, and we pray for peace and all the families that have been impacted by what we are witnessing. We pray that you bring resolution to that. Continue to bless our nation and our country as a whole, and bless this day in Jesus' name. Amen.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Charles. Mr. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Manager Southern.
Here.
Manager Moran.
Here.
Manager Putman.
Here.
Manager Berry.
Here.
Manager McCollum is currently absent.
You have before you the minutes of the March 8th, 2022 Fiscal Court meeting. After a period of review, I'll entertain a motion to approve those.
I move to approve.
Motion and a second. Any other clarifications, additions, corrections? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Our Judges Scholar for today from Central Academy is Ms. Emma Armstead, and I'd like Emma to meet me right up here in front of the podium.
Whereas Emma Armstead has been chosen by Central Academy to be recipient of the Judges Scholar Award for exceptional efforts in both academics and school activities, and whereas Emma's hard work and dedication in making the most of educational experiences and developing positive relationships with teachers and other students will lead to future success, and whereas success is measured in many different ways, whether it be passing a test, scoring the winning point, achieving a particular goal, or taking the necessary steps for overall improvement, and whereas the Henderson County school system could not let Emma's efforts go unnoticed, and whereas the Henderson County Fiscal Court supports the school system and acknowledges these accomplishments as being significant, because students such as Emma Armstead will be our future leaders. And now, therefore, I, Brad Schneider, County Judge Executive of Henderson, join with the Henderson County Fiscal Court to proclaim today, March 22nd, 2022, as Emma Armstead Day.
Congratulations. Give that. And you're going to sit in the seat of honor for the rest of this meeting right here. Congratulations. Congratulations again, Emma. It's a big deal. We're going to brag on you some more later in the meeting, but for now, we're very proud of you and congratulations. Now the fun stuff starts, the rest of this agenda. So, first, we're going to begin with a proclamation, another proclamation for Child Abuse and Domestic Awareness Month, and the Children's Advocacy Center crew is with us, and Allie Skaggs wants to come to the podium and introduce all your guests.
Hi, I'm Allie Skaggs. I'm a family and victim advocate with the Children's Advocacy Center. I have with me our entire crew. Lauren Owens-Cobb, she's a family and victim advocate as well. Kelsey Wright is one of our student interns. Annette Rigdon is our office manager. Samantha Sigler is our executive director. And Lacey Sheely is our MDT coordinator.
We're going to read this proclamation, but you want to talk a little bit about Child Abuse and Domestic Awareness Month?
Mm-hmm. Any
activities you got going on?
We do this week, actually, on Friday. We have a candlelight vigil starting at 6:15 just to bring awareness to Child Abuse, Neglect, and Awareness Month. And we also have several other activities coming through the month of April. We have activity books we're sending out to several different schools and organizations around our 7 counties. And I believe we've got a few other things in the work as well for April.
And the candlelight vigil is Friday at Audubon Milk Park.
Yes, correct.
Starts at what time?
6:15.
6:15, okay. We're going to be reading this proclamation again that evening to help mark the day. Looking forward to it.
Yes,
So
we're
that
excited to have you.
Awesome. With that, we're going to read this proclamation.
Whereas child abuse and neglect is a serious problem in our society, affecting every segment of Henderson County, and whereas our children are our most valuable resources and will shape the future of Henderson County and the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and whereas child abuse is considered one of our nation's most serious public health problems, with scientific studies documenting the link between the abuse and the neglect of children and a wide range of medical, emotional, psychological, and behavioral disorders. And whereas child abuse can have long-term physiological, emotional, and physical effects that have lasting consequences for victims of abuse, every child is entitled to be loved, cared for, nurtured, feel secure, and be free from verbal, sexual, emotional, and physical abuse and neglect. And whereas it is the responsibility of every adult who comes in contact with the child to protect that child's inalienable right to a safe and nurturing childhood. And whereas effective child abuse prevention programs succeed because of partnerships created between social service agencies, schools, health, community, and faith-based organizations, law enforcement agencies, businesses, and families. And whereas communities must make every effort to promote programs and activities that create strong and thriving children and families, because prevention remains the best defense for our children and families. Now therefore, I, Brad Schneider, by virtue of the authority invested in me as County Judge Executive of the County of Henderson County, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2022 as Child Abuse and Neglect Prevention Month in Henderson County, and encourage all citizens to join me in protecting Henderson County's children by providing them a safe environment free from physical, sexual, and emotional abuse and neglect.
Thank you for all you do, Allie, and thank you for all you do for our children. It's weird to have a round of applause after a proclamation for what's such a emotional tug at our heartstrings of problems, but I appreciate that we have people in our community who care as much as you do to help solve that. So we'll see you on Friday night.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we have 3 appointments I'd like to bring to court. The first one is a fiscal court appointment. I'll take your votes on all these, but the first one is to reappoint Dickie Johnson to the Board of Zoning Adjustment. Dickie currently serves as chairman of that board. He's done a good job, would like to continue to serve, and it is an important board, and I think they all do a good job. So with your approval, I'll entertain a motion to reappoint Dickie Johnson to the Board of Zoning Adjustment.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion on that one? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Reverend Johnson needs a replacement for Abraham Brown, who had to step down from the Human Rights Commission, and I'll let Reverend Johnson talk a little bit about his suggested replacement there.
Thank you, Judge, and to the magistrates. We're asking that Ms. Sylvia Cauldron will be appointed to the Henderson County Human Rights Commission. We have already met with Ms. Cauldron, and she works at one of the local financial institutions here. She's already come out to support some of our events, so she's very excited about joining the Human Rights Commission Board. She's certified as a Hispanic Latino translator for the state of Kentucky, so we're excited to have her be a part of our board, and she's excited to get working as well too.
Thank you. Any other questions on Sylvia?
No, I think the judge and I met her last week
Mhm.
at your event, and
Mhm.
seemed like a very nice lady and
Yeah,
a good fit.
yeah,
So
she's-
I would move that we approve that appointment.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions on Ms. Calderon? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Also, congratulations to Miss Emma. She's my kinfolk, Judge.
All
So
right.
congratulations to Miss Emma.
Excellent. Finally, this is a joint appointment for the mayor and I, but I'll bring this to the court. Kimber Heddens has served on the airport board with distinction for several years now. He, I think, acts as the treasurer and does a good job for that board. His term in office has come up, and I asked him if both Chairman Wam and Kimber, if he wanted to serve again, and he said he did, and I would very much support that. So I'd like to offer up the reappointment of Kimber Heddens to the airport board.
I'd move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other questions about Kimber? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Oh, good, excellent. Also in your packet, next in your packet is a memorandum of understanding between the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet and the county and the detention center that we would normally use when KYTC began to support crews going out and doing trash pickup and other things. As you all know, right now, because of COVID and other circumstances, we aren't able to do that. But in case we get back to it at some point, we'll need this MOA in place. It's an annual document that we have to send in. So that is all this is kind of a placeholder in case we get back into that business and KYTC is ready to get us going again. So any questions about that?
And, Steve, is it form everything okay?
It has been reviewed and approved as to form and legality.
I'd make a motion to approve.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
So now that they've lifted a lot of the restrictions and stuff, this may be a question for Amy, but how close are we to getting back to getting our crews back out on the?
Amy, any thoughts on that?
It depends on the state classifying inmates and the courts getting them final sentenced. We were close to 200 county inmates.
Wow.
We're down to about 170 right now. And
If you want to get up to on the mic there.
we've got 161 state inmates. Normally that's over 250. But we've had to take the cells over to put the county inmates in.
It's almost
Okay.
wishful thinking that we could actually get out and do that community work
It
at this
is.
point.
You
Right
need
now
the
it
Class
is.
Ds, don't you?
We do.
Yeah.
We do, and those were the ones that were minimum custody, and that was who was released when COVID hit.
They're missed, I tell you that.
We miss them.
They're missed.
So the work has to be done, and
Trash
it's
is terrible, yeah.
done by the staff right now, so.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? We have a motion and a second, so all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. I'm going to call up Glenn Cummings, road supervisor, who's pinch hitting for Bill Hubiak, who's out of town, I think, on a
Yes, he is.
educational conference.
Yeah, he's sorry he couldn't make it. But
But you have some bid recommendations for us.
yes, on the bottomless concrete, which is asphalt, he says reward to J.H. Rudolph. They did have the lowest bid for the two that we use, which is the binder and the base.
Who did we use last year?
Last year was Jaeger. They did not bid this year.
And we're also, you're also recommending Rogers Group for hot mix and DGA.
Yes.
Make a motion to approve those.
You have a
Second.
motion and a second. As you noticed, our attempt to drive down the price was not all that successful
Yeah,
because
that was not
between
successful, but-
then and now, prices have gone up, so did the best we can there. But any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, next.
Next, we have the bridge structure for BF Overfield. The structure itself, you had one bidder, and Bill recommends that we accept, which was E&H Bridge Grading Company,
And the number was 82,741.
82,741, yes, sir.
Now, whose district is that in?
I would
Make a
guess,
motion to
That would be
approve.
10.
if I was guessing, I'd say it's Magistrate Southern's. Is that possible?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions on that? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And one final one.
And then we have the bridge removal and construction or replacement. Hazex was your number one bidder that the engineer recommends. They were at $69,973.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. They were the low bidder, and they have done good work for us before, so those two things combined, I think,
They did a heck of a job on the steps out here.
yes, they did. Those two things combined, I think, guided Bill's recommendations. So we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Glenn.
And then we've got one for, we're wanting to bring on Ike Day full-time for recycle as a CDL driver. He will be shared between the three departments to do mowing on the grounds, picking up litter embankment, driving the truck for recycle, and we can use him as needed at the road department.
This is a suggestion of Bill's that they bring on a CDL driver in the recycling department to help with roll-offs and other items that are needed, and utilize both existing line items, I think, for
Yes,
part-time or overtime,
Mhm.
in addition to a grant we get every year that would help cover this salary. So between the two, we wouldn't be adding to the budget, really. And the CDL driver could then be used in other respects as well around the department.
Yes.
And
yes.
having, as you know, having licensed CDL drivers is gold right now. And this would help both recycling and in pitch hitting situations throughout the road department. And again, grant money and existing money can cover this.
Do we have a
position.
candidate yet?
Yes, Ike Day. I
Make
think
him-
he would be a really
Yeah,
good
he'd be a real
fit.
asset.
I'd make a motion to approve then.
Yeah.
What's the, we need to set
Set
salary.
salary.
Did Bill suggest a rate of pay?
It'll be our current truck driver pay, which
You know what that is?
1850.
$18.50.
Yeah,
I
he'd
think
be
so.
paid as a current basic CDL,
CDL holder,
driver.
yeah.
Okay, excellent. I'd make that
He's
motion.
he's
to
a great
approve.
pick, by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to hire him. We're going to hire him
Yeah,
at $17.50,
prior to
and then after a probation period, he'd go to $18.50.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Do you want to amend the motion to reflect that?
So,
Sorry
so,
about
mo-
that.
so moved.
Yeah, my second as well.
We have a motion and a second, and if you'd like, at our next meeting, may have Bill come back and explain this a little further, but it sounds to me like a really good way to kill several birds with
I
one
think
stone.
it's a smart
Right,
move,
we can
yeah.
use him, because
yeah.
she has two jobs that needs a CDL driver at recycle, the semi and the roll-off.
Yeah.
And then, Parks can use him because he can help on the grounds.
Right.
So you
He
can go.
he sounds like a real utility man.
Yeah.
Yes, apparently he can do a little everything from what we've
Yeah.
No,
gathered,
yeah,
so.
he really can. I know. I agree
That's
with him.
excellent.
Any-
Also,
Hang on a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
all right. And also, if y'all'd like to get with me on community cleanups for spring cleanups, maybe we can get some of those arranged. Try to do one weekend a month, maybe do 2 locations per weekend.
One weekend a month, or
Yes, preferably.
starting?
We could start whenever y'all like, maybe first next month or.
So 2 locations a weekend.
Yeah, we can do like District 3, 2 locations on a weekend, and then District 2, however y'all would like to set those up.
I think schedule them, get them started. Start as soon as you think it's feasible for your crew, and
Okay.
let's get her going. And then make sure you report the schedule back to us as soon as possible, and we'll get it out.
I've had some calls on it.
Yeah.
I don't mind calling back when we set some.
Okay, all right. we'll
As
try
soon
to
as
get
you wanna
something set.
start.
You want the magistrates in 1, 2, and 3 to contact you?
Yes, if they just want to
Yeah.
contact me when y'all would like to, think maybe do one for each district, so.
We're
All
gonna
right.
do it like we did last year?
I
That's
think
go-
we done it similar last year,
Okay,
yes.
it's gonna be manned and. the-
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
do it where it's manned, we'll pick them up in the evenings, we won't
It
leave
didn't work
overnight.
good not
so.
being
Now,
No.
we're not going down
Yeah,
that road.
Unmanned don't work good,
Right.
tend to get extra litter on the ground, and, so.
Sounds good. So just set a schedule and get back with the magistrates. And
All right.
I think we've got a pretty good set of places to put
Yes.
these cleanups. Everybody was happy last year. Didn't
Yes, no-
any complaints?
No complaints that I'm aware of,
Yeah.
so.
Just let me know, Glenn, and I'll call these people back. It's
Okay.
fine, whatever you said.
All right, sounds
Why
good.
don't y'all work between now and next meeting, and then we'll approve it next meeting, if that's
Okay.
okay?
Okay.
And then Ariel Adams, our Parks administrator, she has a new hire possibility that they,
Ariel, you want to come up and talk about it? By the way, for those of you who have not met Ariel Adams, she's a Parks Director and has been in place since January, I believe,
Yes.
and is doing a very good job and also helping out with business requirements in the road department. So welcome, and
Thank you.
I had somebody call you this week, or last week, I think. Did they call you about the park, using the park?
Probably.
Well, thank you for
getting busy.
It's no problem.
So you need some seasonal help as usual, I guess?
Yes, we would like to hire Steve Watkins part-time.
Oh, wait a second. No.
Oh, yeah, he's been with us the past 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And he'd be Keith Cumbus replacement starting in April for 100 days.
I'd make a motion to approve, Steve.
Despite Charlie's better judgment, he made a motion. Just
No,
kidding.
no. Steve and I
we all-
went to high school together. We did
Motion-
some really stupid things when we were young.
Steve's
As we
worked for us
go.
in the past, and these seasonal
Yeah.
workers help us keep up with the parks, and it's getting to be that time of year, so we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? You mention what you're going to pay him?
I think it's 12 an hour.
12 an hour. Okay.
Yeah.
Amend the motion to that.
Okay. So we have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Good luck with Steve.
Thank you.
I believe our animal control representatives won't be here, but you have their report in your packet. Next, we have a detention center report, and Jailer Brady, if you wouldn't mind coming back up. This is an annual DOC state inspection requirement that we attest that there have been no changes to the jail's policy and procedures manual that we have not approved, but we have approved. Am I characterizing that right? And just like we will be doing, probably the next fiscal court meeting, we'll be voting on the updates to the personnel policy, and the jail's personnel policy will reflect those. So anything you want to add? I think
Also, the jail standards changes should be finalized. Fingers crossed. It's been a long time coming, but the end of this session should also show the changes, and that would go in our new policy manual.
Any other questions about this? Again, the DOC just needs a letter as part of its state inspection that nothing has changed to the policy and procedures that we've voted on, correct? So,
Correct.
get a motion to approve that.
So moved.
Wait a
Second.
Second. Motion and a second. Any other questions of Amy? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thanks.
Thanks. Can I say one thing? We
Sure.
have a pre-bid meeting this afternoon, 2 o'clock for KYTC project. Real
For the
ID
license
office,
branch, yeah.
And it's at the jail in the building directly behind the jail on Borax Drive. If you know any contractors, anyone that might be interested, send them our way at 2 o'clock today.
Okay.
Thanks.
In your package, you have the sheriff's monthly report. Sheriff Crafton, anything to add? Okay. This is a normal monthly report.
Move to accept.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And Renisa, the county clerk's report.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have the report for February 2022 with the excess fees for the month, $108,626.89, and the total remitted to the county for February 2022 is $158,563.53.
Thank
Motion
you.
to accept.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions of Renisa? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any other updates from your office?
Well, I kind of wanted to go over in a brief way our voting plan for 2022. We will be putting out advertising, in the newspaper, social media, WSON. But just so you all are aware that we are having voting centers. We are having 6 voting centers where anyone in the county that's a registered voter can go to any one of those polling locations and vote. So you don't have to, just go to one spot. So that's a bonus, and, it makes it more convenient for everyone. If they're in town working, they can go by the Archery Center or the JFK Center. And also the ones in the county, we have one polling location located in every magisterial district. So, and we're utilizing the elementary schools for that.
And the
So-
mail-in and early voting is still intact for this?
Yes,
cycle?
it is. The mail-in voting, there are excuses, and they went back to pre-pandemic excuses like what they were before.
Okay.
You're
For
going-
absentee
For
absentee
absentee,
ballot. Yeah.
yes, for absentee. So that is still in play. And also the portal that was used during 2020 is still option 2. That's how you apply for the absentee ballot, the mail. And we also this time have early voting, 3 days of early voting. So in 2020 we had several days of early voting. This year the law allows for 3 days, starting the Thursday before Election Day. So it's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday before Election Day, before that Tuesday. And the times aren't set yet because the legislature is still working those details out as far as the times are concerned. So that's kind of why we're waiting on the advertising. We want to make sure we have those times set by the law before
Will the courthouse be the early voting location?
It's actually the archery.
Okay.
It's actually the archery center. We will have walk-in absentee excuse required voting May 4th through May the 11th here at the courthouse. And that coincides with the closing of the portal. When you can apply for your absentee through the mail, that portal closes, and then the next day on May the 4th is when they can come to the courthouse for those excuses listed previously, disability, age, illness, things like that. So
I think the voting centers are actually quite a nice development. It was out of necessity last time, but I think people, A, find it easier to vote when you can vote at any of the locations, and 2,
Right.
because of the difficulty in getting volunteer poll workers at all of those small precincts that we used to use, this is much easier. Fewer locations help us cover with the existing volunteers what needs to be done. So I like it. I think it makes it convenient to vote.
yeah, the public really was receptive to it in 2020, and they, were really excited about, being able to go and be safe, and we had plenty of room at the archery center, and they just liked the idea, and I've had a lot of positive comments since, so I think it's going to be great.
Renisa, just to clear up though, you got to submit online for the absentee ballots?
The mail, yes, the mail. You have to go through that portal in order
That's
to do
it.
that.
That's the only way.
Yes, and if you have trouble, if you don't have internet access, if you aren't familiar with using a computer or the internet, you can also call our office and we can assist you with it. So you can tell us your information over the phone and we can enter that for you into the portal. So if you have a phone, you are able to do this.
That's
Because
great.
we will help with that.
Have you talked to the library and maybe get them where they could help assist people with the internet? Because I know they've
Oh, right, as being able to
Right.
come in and use their internet. Yeah, that's a good idea, Charlie.
Well, before when we had the different precincts, your name was on the book and you signed it, and that was the security to make
The
sure that you
roster,
didn't
yes.
vote twice. What security do we have that where people can't go from one area and then go to another area?
Right. We use e-poll books now, and those e-poll books
It's all
talk to each other.
Okay, yeah.
And so it makes it that not possible.
I'm sure
So that's a
nobody
very
in
good
Henderson
question.
would do that. but
Yeah,
that's
that's
good
a
to
very
know
good
that
question.
Okay, thank you.
And also, if you early vote, we have that in the e-poll book as well. So, that would be impossible for someone to come early and vote and then try to vote again on election day.
It's
So
already in
it's
the
there,
database,
yeah.
and it's got marked
Yeah.
down. Okay.
Another thing you mentioned to me that was interesting is that even though we have these limited number of voting centers, when you vote, your precinct, your original traditional precinct based on your address, is recorded with your vote. So that precinct level research that a lot of people like to do will still be available. It will still record that information, but you just don't have to vote in your precinct to get that done.
Exactly, and it's based on the ballot that you're given whenever you sign in with the e-poll book. That ballot information is shown, and so that's how the clerk knows which ballot you are to receive, because they are precinct specific.
So I can't vote for Tim Southern then?
No.
Any other information?
Unless
The
y'all have-
vote early, vote often thing's not going to work.
No.
You know.
That's good.
So, and like I said, I'll have, media coverage, as soon as we get those times, by the legislature when they determine those. So,
We'll try to share it as much as possible, too.
yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Gold, your report.
Judge, I've got several checks today. The first being dental and life insurance, $306.24 and $13.89. Health insurance in the amount of $5,251. Aflac, $204.42, $112.20. Flow through from the city, $458.33, and interest in the amount of $24.25, bringing today's total to $6,370.33, and bringing the fiscal year total to $124,017.33. And Emma said she'd never held over $6,000 before, and I said, it's just like being an adult. You get it, and then you've got to hand it to
Give it
somebody.
back.
So thank you for your help.
Thank you very much, Emma, for playing courier for us. I'll entertain a motion to accept the county attorney
Move
payments.
to accept.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Thank you, Mr. Gold. Treasurer Ryder, if you wouldn't mind coming to the podium, and we're going to begin your segment of the agenda by having second reading of the budget amendment, taking in monies and expending some money.
This is the second reading of Budget Amendment Number 2 for this year. This is amending into the current fiscal year unanticipated receipts of the road and state grant funds. The total amendment is $349,200. The revenue section of this is road fund FEMA receipts, $227,190. Road fund transportation cabinet, $120,000. State grants miscellaneous revenue, which was received from Kentucky State Treasurer for spay and neuter grant in the amount of $2,100. The corresponding appropriations for this is road fund bridges, $200,000. Road fund rock, $147,190. State grants, spay and neuter grant, $2,100. Again, the total amount of this amendment is $349,200.
Make a motion to approve?
I have a motion and a second. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, next is fund transfers.
Yes, you were given the transfers, and they are as presented, redistributing appropriations within the existing budget. Are there any questions for these?
No questions. I'd make a motion to approve.
Yeah, I second it, and the Finance Committee went through these yesterday. Yes.
Any other discussion? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next, claims.
Your bank balances after paying claims today, you have received those, and your day-to-day appropriations should be at approximately 75%. I do have one additional claim from the general fund to Visa in the amount of $1,255.62. This is for sheriff department charges, and the majority of it is to come from the sheriff office supply line.
We went over these yesterday. I
Yep.
would make a motion to approve that with the
Second.
addition of the new claim.
We have a motion and a second. I will note that we are, as Treasurer Ryder mentioned, at approximately 75, well, it's just the beginning of the final quarter of the fiscal year, so obviously we're at 75%. Meanwhile, the general fund expense ratio is at 68%, so we're ahead of schedule on our general fund expenses. The other departments are also right in line. Great job on their part, and our revenues are at 93%. We expect to, at this point, match or exceed last year's total revenues, not just budget, but what actual, and so it's all trending well. Finance Committee had a good discussion yesterday, and we're eager to see what happens over the next 2 months going into the month of June with revenues, but all signs point to a solid year once again. So thank you very much, and we have a motion and a second for claims. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brenda, I got one more thing. At our meeting yesterday, we talked about the credit cards and the points. If you could check and see what we can do with them or what we do so we can make that, or
I
if we
started that yesterday right after the meeting,
Okay.
so
just
I'm
wanted
working
to
on
bring
it.
that up, that
Yeah.
we want to see make sure we're doing what we can.
Yeah.
Or if we need to change credit cards and get one that's going to pay us 2% back or whatever it does, something they advertise on TV.
Thank you.
I'll continue to work on that. Thank you.
Under old business, I have an item. Last meeting, we reviewed the hiring of Nick Stallings, and you remember we set a salary. We talked about a potential probationary period that will extend into the new fiscal year, and we'll work on that at budget time. But a question was brought about his desire to be able to keep the vacation time that he'd accrued at KYTC and bring it with him over to the county. And the question being, with our current schedule of vacation earnings, what we could do to make sure that we could properly do that for him. And I have a suggestion. It's pretty simple. We vote now to add a sentence to the current language around our vacation schedule that says, with fiscal court approval, this schedule can be altered in individual cases. It kind of gives us the flexibility to do this when we want to, when we need to, especially when it comes to recruiting somebody or making somebody an offer in negotiations for a new hire. So
I think that's a good idea, and I don't know if Steve has different language or something, but I think that's really critical, especially when you're dealing with a professional. And if there was some way we could tie that into, we want to be fair to all our employees, but this is different. I mean, you don't have to bid on a professional. I mean, there's different things. So I think you're on the money here.
yeah, I mean, it gives us flexibility. It is with fiscal court approval in individual cases.
Well, I would
And-
make that motion that we add that language to the policy.
Yeah.
Second.
So you have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? I checked with Mr. Gold, see if there were any legal angles on that.
He
Seems
can
pretty
take care of the
straightforward.
language. I trust him.
Pretty straightforward. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other questions?
No, just a comment, when you have somebody of the caliber of Mr. Stallings that's willing to come to work for us, it's, we're truly fortunate to get the gentleman, so.
I agree.
They don't grow on trees. They
Right.
really don't.
So after a motion and a second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Now, to follow up on that, I'll ask for a motion to go ahead and extend Mr. Stallings the same salary and benefits offer we made last time with 3 weeks vacation carrying over
So
to
moved.
his newest position. We have a motion and a second. Any other comments about that? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that's my old business. Anybody else have any other old business?
You got Bruce?
We're about to
Oh, okay.
we're about to come up on that. We'll go into good of the county if nobody else has any other old business. And we'll jump ahead. I'll take care of the modified lease agreement that the coroner has forwarded to us. Methodist just updated its lease to reflect the fact that they gave us the body cooler and they gave us the leak-proof basin. Sorry for that rather graphic description of what that does, but this just takes that necessity out of the lease and updates
And
it.
we're going to replace the cooling whole system on it, which
Right.
it will be ours.
It's all on us now
Yeah.
for that, so it's just taken out of the lease. If you
make a
want to go
motion
ahead
to
and
approve
approve that modification.
I'd make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other questions about that? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Anybody else in the audience today
If I
have
could
any?
just add in something to that, for court's information, I believe Brent told me the cooling unit came in this week and it's already been installed.
That's awesome. Good deal.
Good deal.
So that we won't have as much trouble with keeping the temperatures. Oh,
Yeah.
I like that.
Anybody from the audience have anything for good of the county? Kenny Garrett.
You're not bringing us another storm, are you? Okay.
I am bringing you the weatherman, though.
Okay, that's good. Okay.
All right, good
Well,
morning,
welcome.
everybody. This is the weatherman, by the way. I'll introduce him in just a minute. All right, so I guess, you've all realized we've been pretty busy in EMA for the last couple of years at least, so I just wanted to give you kind of an update on some things we're working on now. So basically, we put together a 2-year plan for preparedness over the next couple of years based on some lessons learned from COVID and the tornado response over the last few months. So it's a plan we're working on. I've sent it to the judge and for his review, and then we'll get it out to the court members as time goes on here. So I'm going to meet with him later this week to talk about that. Due to the tornado response over the past few months, we're fielding a lot of questions from local businesses and other organizations about doing safety walkthroughs and things like that. So we've already done several. Pittsburgh Tank, AMG Aluminum, the public library. We've already gone through and done some things with them. Recently completed a couple of FEMA courses, one on managing public information and a second one on managing faith-based volunteers and faith-based organizations. So taking that information, and just last night we met with 8 churches in Cardin to talk about safety and talk about preparedness in these churches. Mayor Smith in Cardin, she was the one that kind of put that together with Tim, and we got that done. I've asked Susan Sauls and Melissa Clemens, who have both agreed to kind of head up and help us massage our existing volunteer management and donation management plan. So Melissa's going to handle the donation side. Susan's going to help me run point on managing volunteers. So looking forward to getting that going with them. And then finally, we're standing up a regional training center to provide FEMA-based and other, like LSU and TEEX, and then those names may not mean anything to you, but they're just organizations that do first responder type trainings. So we're going to offer these trainings up to all of our first responders locally, city and county, to kind of get them better prepared and be having some meetings with them to discuss their needs here shortly. So with that, we've got a lot going on. That's just a few things, but I wanted to introduce Tim, so I brought him today. Tim Troutman is a Henderson native that came back home after a career with the National Weather Service, and he's a meteorologist, and he's going to be my weather resource coordinator. So I'm going to let Tim talk to you a little bit about what he's going to do for us.
Thank you, Kenny. It's a pleasure to be here. It's great to be back home in Henderson County. It took me 28 years to get back, but I'm here. So my focus of my work with Kenny, and I'm blessed and thankful for the opportunity, Kenny, to get to work with everyone here in the county, is we're going to be working on a project that we've been selected, Henderson County has, by the National Weather Service. It's known as the Weather Ready Community Project, and we're going to be the first county in the U.S. that's going to have that capability once we're completed with the project. So part of what Kenny was talking about involving working with large organizations such as schools, industrial plants, churches of worship, places where there's going to be a lot of folks at a certain period of time. As part of this project, the Weather Ready Community Project, we're meeting with the appropriate folks in safety at the locations, making sure they have a good emergency operations plan, a safety plan for all hazards. This is an all hazards approach, not just weather. So that's the importance of it, to make sure that our community is going to be as safe as possible. That's the objective. And we're also going to be completing safety walkthroughs, giving them recommendations, location by location, where are the safe locations. And, some of this is in response, obviously, from the December 10th tornadoes that occurred across western Kentucky. And the objective of this is obviously going to be the importance of mitigating that loss of life and property in the future. That's what it's all about. We want to make sure that the county and the surrounding area is as safe as possible. So it's a pleasure to be here. I look forward to working with everyone, and just happy to be back home. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back
Tim.
to Henderson.
Yeah.
Kenny, something I noticed that Hopkins County is advertised for a building to store supplies. Is that something, I like to be prepared, and is that something we need to think or consider, maybe having a building where we found some generators on sale, or some frozen food, not frozen, but some freeze-dried food that keeps for 20 years, just something for emergencies? Is that something that we might ought to think about?
Yes, sir. That's actually something that was a big deal in across that area that was hit down there, where they actually took and stood up buildings that weren't in their community. For instance, in Graves County, they actually stood up warehouses that were outside, so that even though they got hit, those warehouses were still available to them to go get resources. So yes, we have the old Griffin building over here now that is already set up for different types of resources that are in there. It's not a big building, but it's big enough for us to put supplies in, and if we needed something else, we would.
Okay. If you
definitely
need
do.
something else,
It
bring
is
it
a good
up.
idea. It's a
Yeah.
great idea, and
Okay.
I don't know that it needs to be in one location, because if we had a mile-wide tornado come through here, downtown, obviously that would be devastating. But maybe we put it out in another part of the county so that it's
Right.
it's safe.
Well, that would be a good idea, to sort of spread the risk
Spread 'em
out
out,
a little
exactly.
bit.
Maybe we could do it on a regional basis too, several counties pitching into.
That's
stock.
a good idea,
We have
too.
that. We do have that with the Hospital Coalition. So each county has a location where the hospital coalition has got trailers and generators, and that's where a lot of our initial PPE came from. Was they pulled it out of those regional stockpiles. So those facilities are still there, and we could actually kind of build those back up and use them.
I don't know that there's really space at the road department where I would want to put it, but that bridge, on the Parkway, it really makes a nice big berm. It sort of protects our road department, or at least a portion of the road department. When that tornado came through 2 years ago,
Right.
it went right on
Right
the
on
other
the
side
top.
of it,
It
and then
did.
sort of turned, and that bridge, that whole big structure there seemed to help protect us.
It's a big facility. I mean, if you put something out there, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Right. Questions?
Any other questions, Kenny?
Thank you, Kenny.
Tim, welcome back. Kenny, keep up the good work. Anybody else for good of the county? That will go around the horn. Mastred Southard.
Just want to say congratulations, Emma. It's a really big deal to be chosen out of your school to have your day. So today's your day. And I think Butch is taking you out to eat. Don't give him a break. You just eat as much as you want. And I appreciate what y'all do. It means a lot. And really, really glad that we have people that volunteer their time and work with the people in need. Thank you. And all's good in District 3.
Thank you, Magistrate Moran.
I agree on everything that Magistrate said. That doesn't happen very often, probably. Congratulations, Emma. And as a retired teacher, you know I appreciate all the effort that you put in, and just keep up the good work, because there's so many good things ahead for you. There are. And I, of course, I love the advocacy there and all the work that they do. Congratulations, and I hope many good things for you all. And I just want to mention the Ministerial Association is hosting the Lenten Luncheons, and this is the third one. It'll be at First Methodist tomorrow noon, so if anybody's able to get out and attend that,
What are
everybody's
those
welcome.
again?
They're Lenten Luncheons. They have a short service. They're at 12 to 1, so that you get in there in the short service, and then you eat lunch, and then you go back to work if you have to. And it was at Christian Church and Presbyterian. This week it'll be at First Methodist. So anybody that'd like to come, you're welcome. So all's well in District 2.
Thank you. Magistrate Putman.
Thank you, Judge. Emma, congratulations. I'll be brief because we'll get a chance to talk, and I get to bore you for however long you're willing to listen to it. So, but we'll enjoy lunch. And again, hats off to the Advocacy Center. I mean, you know, you guys all got a servant's heart, no doubt. You know, that's job. It's a shame, but it continues and continues and grows and grows and grows, and it's hard to see a light at the end of the tunnel. But we really appreciate what you do. So, and Judge, everything is good in the 4th.
Thanks, Magistrate McCullum.
Emma, I too would like to congratulate you, and I hope you will dream. If you are related to Reverend Johnson, you got to be a good person. I really think a lot of him. But you can do anything you want to. And realize that there's the Colonels to College money, there's the Keys money, there's the community college, there's USI. You get the same in-state tuition rate as you do if you lived in Indiana. There's a lot of opportunities, and you ought to be up here. We need leaders. We need people that want to succeed. So congratulations, and hope you do well. All is well in the 5th. My roads are clean, and ditches are done, and so I don't have any, so thank you.
Thank you, Magistrate Berry.
It's always fun to go last because everybody's already said everything. But I'll congratulate you again, Emma. You didn't get bored, did you, through this whole process? Sometimes it wasn't bad today. Sometimes it can be, but wasn't bad today. Just business that has to be taken care of. Thank you, girls over here, Allie and your crew, or whatever. With my law enforcement background for over 30 years, I can't explain how important what you do is to the community and to children and everybody. So thank you very kindly. And also thank all the department heads, and even Mr. Willett back there, who's representing the sheriff's office. Not a department head, but he's close. So thank you. I know it's a little glow back there, but that's all right. So thank everybody, jailer and everybody that's here. Just thank everybody. Thank you too, Judge. Thank everybody. So I think we're good in District 1 for now. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Gold.
Judge, things are good in the county attorney's office. Emma, I want to say congratulations again. I know your family. I'm not surprised at all at how great that you're doing. So I do, just like everybody else has said, look forward to all the great things that you've got ahead of you in your life. You know, we're talking about the Child Advocacy Center and all the things they do, and I was looking at a couple statistics. There are over 10,000 people under the age of 18 in Henderson County, and you were picked to be the one to be honored today. That's pretty darn cool. So congratulations. And on to you know, what's going on at the Child Advocacy Center and the great work that you all do. You know, of those 10,000, far too many are in situations where they're abused or neglected or taken advantage of in some way. 1 in 5 are in food insecure households. And I was looking at our case numbers in the court system. While a whole lot of other case numbers have gone down, dependency, neglect, and abuse of juveniles has gone up. And we've also seen a rise in exploitation of minors. And from 2012 to 2018, those case numbers for abused and neglected children went up 52% in Henderson County. Now, during COVID, it went down because courts were shut down and a lot of people weren't getting out places. Frankly, I think there's a whole lot of underreporting. I think there's always way too much underreporting, but I think particularly during that time period, there was a lot of underreporting. And dependent cases, which is when a child does not have a parent ready, willing, and able to care for them, during that same time period went up 85%. So those are trends that we really want to figure out ways to buck, because when young people have those adverse childhood experiences, it affects the rest of their life, and it's so much harder to persevere over that. And we see people that are able to do that, but a lot of times there are exceptions to that rule. And I know a lot of what the Child Advocacy Center does is they try to help people overcome those adverse experiences that they have, and sometimes they are the most adverse of adverse. And what you all do really is a blessing to this community, and I thank you for it.
Thank you, Steve. I'll echo those comments, both to Children's Advocacy Center and to Emma. Congratulations. You should be very proud, and your family is too, I'm sure. And thank you for all you do, and I look forward to joining you on Friday to help create more awareness about the challenges in our community and what you're doing to help solve them. So thank you. I want to give a hearty congratulations to our county attorney, who was one of the cast members of the most recent Taffy Opry, written by beloved Bob Park. They had their performances this past weekend at the Fine Arts Center, and it was tremendous. I went on Saturday night, and the crowd was enthusiastic and having fun, and the whole experience was terrific. We probably don't do that sort of thing enough here, because we have so many talented people who are willing to volunteer and do that. It's not easy. It can be a little scary, but the end result is something that brings us together. Very heartwarming, and my wife and I had a wonderful time. So congratulations, Steve, and
good
the rest
time.
of the
Thanks for
gang.
coming out.
Yeah, it was great, and well, I will say that many of the characters in the traditional Taffy Opry are now no longer with us. They are deceased in this play, and don't take that too poorly. They weren't violent deaths or anything. They just transitioned over. No, I don't know what the next Taffy Opry is going to look like with all these traditional cast members. No.
We were joking at the cast party. This one was called Pathways to Heaven. We wondered if the next one was Pathways to another.
So we'll see. I wouldn't put anything past Bob Parks. So, with that, I appreciate everybody's patience today. We had a pretty full agenda, and we're able to work through it well. So thank you, and I will entertain now a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Oh my gosh! I can't believe I did that. We're going to have to go into executive session.
We're going to executive session.
And per KRS 61.8101G, and these are discussions regarding economic development and potential negotiations. So
I would second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. I do anticipate that we could have a vote coming out of this meeting. So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. That's the rest of our business other than this potential vote, so you have to stick around, and Missy and Whitney will meet you back.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to come out of executive session. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I will also vote
Move to
aye.
adjourn.
Move to adjourn, and we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor can leave.